Hi everyone, I welcome you all back to the session on C programming. Last class we have seen what is an algorithm, flowchart, pseudocode, and also we have defined what is a program. Today we are going to see how to learn any programming language, then followed by we will be looking at the structure of a C program. Okay guys? Last class we have seen what is an algorithm, how algorithm is converted into flowchart. Now the point is either algorithm can be converted into pseudocode or a flowchart can be converted into pseudocode. The pseudocode means which is close to almost or close to a program. So that is the reason why pseudocode is easily convertible as a program. However, for small problems, we won't be writing algorithm and pseudocode or flowchart and pseudocode. We straight away will be writing the programs. Now, what is a program? We try to understand what is program. Basically, it will be program either directly or indirectly. It is understandable by the computer. Either it is directly or indirectly. It is understandable by the computer. Means program means it will be written in some high level language. High level programming language. So here I request the students, please go through the algorithms and also try to design flowcharts for the various problems. Here I list out the some problems. One is GCD of two numbers, Fibonacci series, prime number or not, prime or not, whether the number is prime or not. Then sum of the n natural numbers, factorial of a given number. Please do some research on these problems. You go through Google and try to write algorithms and also try to design flowcharts for these problems before we going to learn any programming language. Then you will be simply come to know how to solve a problem which needs simple mathematics. So you can write algorithm if you know the basic mathematics: GCD, Fibonacci series, prime number or not, sum of n natural numbers, factorial of a given number. Please write algorithms and also design flowcharts for these problems. If you don't know, you Google it and you will get the different ways of designing algorithms and flowcharts for these problems. If you are comfortable with these problems, definitely then it becomes easy for you to learn programs. So that's what we related to algorithm, flowcharts and program, guys. Now let us see how to learn any programming language. Okay guys, that's what before you go to learn programs or programming language, as I said earlier, please solve those problems, write algorithms and also design flowcharts for the specified problems. Then it will be comfortable for you to further go and learn programs or programming language. Okay, fine. Let us see how to learn any programming language. Not only see how to learn any programming language, the steps which are needed to learn any programming language I will be disclosing right now. Let us see how to learn any programming language. So first of all, let us see how to learn English language. This will be very critical step in the process of learning any programming language. Dear students, you should remember these steps to learn any programming language, either C, C++, Java or Python. So you cannot write straight away directly, you cannot write the programs. There are predefined, well-defined sequence of steps to be followed. Then you will be expert in the programming. So if you want to learn English language, what we will do? Step 1, we try to learn alphabets. So in the school, teacher will tell you alphabets initially. Then using alphabets, you will form words. The words are combined together, they will form sentences, and the set of sentences forms the paragraph. This is the how the kids or children will be learning English language. In the similar way, to learn the C language, there are the steps to be followed in order to learn not only C language, any programming language. So in case of English language only we have alphabets, but when it comes to the programming language, remember, in the first step there are alphabets. Alphabets means lowercase letters and uppercase letters A to Z. There are digits 0 to 9. There are some special symbols. Any programming language initially will be supporting these are the basic elements. Special symbols like hash, star, dot, operators, plus, minus, division, modular division, left shift, right shift, so on. So any programming language initially you have to learn what are the alphabets supported in programming language, what are the digits. Digits almost all in all case of in all programming language 0 to 9 will be there. Special symbols. So once if you learn the programming language alphabets, digits and special symbols as a kid, you are going to form, see the keywords, strings, variables and constants. Now let us see what are the keywords. So any programming language supports certain set of keywords. Keywords means these are the words whose meaning is already known to compiler. Keywords are reserved words supported by any programming language. In C language there are 32 keywords like int, float, char, if, else, do, while, for, switch case, constant, char, struct. There are 32 keywords in C language. So in the second step, first and foremost you have to learn alphabets, digits and special symbols supported by the programming language. Then make sure that you have to by heart all the keywords supported by the programming language. If it is C, there are 32 keywords. Java, C++, Python, learn the keywords first. Then strings. Strings are nothing but collection of characters. The concept of strings supported by the programming languages. Different programming language supports different ways to deal with the strings. Now the other thing is variables. What are the variables? Simply computer memory is divided into number of cells. Number of cells means let it be each one you consider as a byte. So to identify a particular byte or particular cell in the computer memory, we assign a name for each cell. The name is being assigned for each cell. Name given to each cell is a variable to identify. For example, individual human beings are identified by their names. For example, if you have 10 stored apartment will have hundreds of rooms, so each room will be numbered. So anyhow, so the memory cell or each byte in the computer memory is, in order to identify each byte in the computer memory, we will assign names for the memory locations. Those can be called as variables. What are the constants? Constants could be integers, real numbers, and also constants could be characters. Now once if you come to know keywords, strings, variables, what is variable? Now coming to the variables, you have to learn certain things. There are conventions to name the variables. You have to learn rules for naming the variables, how individual human beings are given names. So name of a human being should be almost string. No special symbols or no digits are accepted as part of the human being name. In the similar sense, whenever you want to name the variables in any programming language, there are certain rules, naming conventions are there. Those rules must be remembered by the students. When it comes to the constants, integer values, real values and character constants. Once if you come to know keywords, strings, variables and constants in the programming language, then as a kid you are going to form the instructions. Third step is instruction. It is instruction. In case of English language, it is said to be sentence. In case of programming language, it is said to be instruction. Instruction, I said instruction means it is a computer understandable statement. Directly or indirectly, instruction is computer understandable statement. That is the reason why people often will be defining computer works as per the user given instructions. Once if you come to know how to form the instructions, when you are forming the instructions, again rules will be there. You should know the rules supported by the programming language. When you are going to form the sentences, there are rules like present tense, future tense, past tense, present continuous tense. So there are rules to form the sentences. In the similar way, there are rules to form the instructions. There are different types of instructions like sequence control instructions, decision control instructions, loop control instructions, case control instructions, unconditional jump statements. So you should know all this stuff. Then you are going to write the program. Program means set of instructions. Instruction means single command. Set of instructions means multiple commands will be given to the computer, which will be getting executed in the same order in which they have given. So the program means now set of instructions. Based on this, you could able to understand program is set of instructions. These instructions or the program is directly or indirectly now understood by the computer. Okay, fine guys. If it is a paragraph, it is understood by the human beings. If it is a program, it is understood by the computer. Now you should always remember the sequence of steps to learn any programming language. The same steps has to be followed to learn either for the C language or C++, Java or Python. Okay guys, now let us see what is the structure of a C program. Okay guys, so far the discussion which we have made, it's like independent of programming language. So the steps has to be followed irrespective of whatever the programming language you are learning. Now we come to know what is a program. Program is a set of instructions written in any programming language. Now let us define the program in terms of C language. If you want to understand, let us see the structure of a C program, means how the structure is there. So when you write programs in C language, you have to follow a structure, predefined structure in which you have to write the C programs. Now let us see the structure of a C program so that you can understand the definition with respect to the program with respect to the C language. Right, let us see the structure of a C program. Okay, fine. Now whenever you write a C program, already we know that this program is also not directly understood by the computer because it is a high level programming language. We appoint a mediator called as compiler. That's fine. So what are the steps when you write the C program? The first and foremost step we follow, or it is called as documentation section. In number 1, it is called as documentation section. It's not compulsory. Documentation, it's not structure. Documentation section. Okay guys, documentation section. Okay, documentation section will tell the readers about the objective of the program that you are going to write. So it will give you idea what is the program: addition of two numbers, factorial of a given number, GCD of two numbers, Fibonacci series. So it will give an idea to the readers about the what the program is. Then it is followed by the preprocessor directives. Second step is preprocessor directives. This section will define certain preprocessor directives. Actually, these directives are the directives will have the meaning of the library functions or inbuilt functions supported by the C language that you will be using within the program. How I can tell you is, for example, when you are reading a novel, okay, the vocabulary of the novel you may not be able to understand. Then fine, what you will be doing? You will be referring to the vocabulary in the dictionary. So you see the word in the dictionary and you come to know the meaning. In the similar sense, because this is a high level language program, the compiler will be converting these instructions into low level language instructions. When compiler is converting these high level language instructions to low level, compiler may not be knowing the meaning of all the instructions. The definition or meaning of the instructions is in the dictionary called as preprocessor directives. We will attach a dictionary saying, hello dear compiler, if you don't understand any instruction while you convert from high level to low level, you refer to the definition of the instruction which is attached in the form of a preprocessor directive, or it can be called as a dictionary. Okay guys, then the third one is global variable or global function declaration section. Means you will be using certain variables which can be used in the main function as well as also in the user defined functions. We will come to know what is main function and user defined function. Global variables are variables which are used throughout the program. It's like I said, global means, for example, any variable, if it is to be known in throughout the program, that will be declared outside the main. The variables which are declared outside the main, this is actually the main program. This is actually the main program. The variables which are declared outside the main are called as global variables. They are known to throughout the program. The variables which are declared inside the main are called as local variables, which are known to only within the main function. What does it mean? For example, see, if I want to tell you like a general example, if Chiranjeevi is there, he is a Tollywood actor who is known to only in Andhra and Telangana. His scope is restricted to only Andhra and Telangana. Whereas a global variable like Amitabh Bachchan, who is well known in India. Okay, such kind of variables, if something is to be known throughout the program, then it will be declared outside the main, which is called as a global variables. Same in case of with the functions also. Now the structure of the C program will start from int main. Why it is int main, everything else we will be discussing in the coming classes. Now earlier we were talking about the instructions. This is the instructions. So we have seen alphabets, digits, keywords, strings, all these things forms the instruction. Set of instructions is called as a program. Instructions are directly or indirectly understood by the computer. There are, I said, sentences as a grammar like present tense, future tense, past tense. In the similar sense, instructions also, there are different types of instructions supported by the programming language. You must know, you must read first documentation of the C language. So instructions like they can be sequence control, decision control, loop control. We will discuss one after another in the coming sessions. Okay, case control statements. Now whatever the instructions or whatever the program or logic which you learn and going to implement will be inside this main block. Then if at all any user defined functions, what is user defined function, we will discuss later on in coming sessions. If it is there, that will be definition of the user defined function will be outside the main. Most of the students will be writing the definition of the user defined functions also inside the main. This is quite wrong. So any user defined function is there. Remember, the definition of the user defined function should be outside the main only. This is the area. But make sure for every program there may not be user defined functions. It is optional, maybe based on the type of the problem or type of the solution you are writing in C language. If it really needs user defined functions, then probably you will be considering the user defined functions. But this is not compulsory for every program. Whenever you are talking about the user defined functions in C language, then probably you will be considering the user defined functions. Okay guys, this is about the structure of a C program. Structure of a C program will have a documentation section, will give the details about the program for the readers. Preprocessor directives, they are like dictionaries. Whenever compiler is translating the instruction within the main program, if it don't know the meaning of the instruction, it will refer to the dictionary in terms of preprocessor directives. Global variables, known to variables which are declared outside the main program, which are known to throughout the program. Then int main, this is the common syntax. Remember, for every C program will have this part. Every C program will have this part. Every C program. This is the structure of a program in C language. there may be slight difference in structure of a C program in other languages like C++, Java and Python, but almost once if you learn the structure of the C program, then you can simply translate the structure of a C program into other languages with minor modifications. Okay guys, I wish you might have enjoyed the session. I think you might have enjoyed the session. This is the structure of a C program. With this I am going to conclude the today's class, and later on in the coming sessions we are going to write C programs. It's really interesting. Possibly I will be taking the live classes in my computer, where I will be writing and will be showing the how to write and compile and execute the programs in the computer itself. Okay guys, that's it for today's session. Thank you.